Melo was possibly going to Denver if Detroit took Darko. I knew Melo would go to Denver, and I felt that Chris Bosh would go to Toronto. So in my mind, I knew the first 4 picks, and I was like, I think the draft starts at the 5th pick because that's what we don't know who the Heat's taking. And so my agent Henry Thomas represented Chris Bosh and I at that time. He had to leave. He had to go to Chris table because he was getting drafted. So he goes to Chris Bosh table. He gets drafted for. We all clapping. I'm like, Chris, yeah, boy, I told you. And then from there, my agent sat back down right next to me. And when he sat next to me, he whispered and leaned forward and started whispering in my ear. And I'm like, what's up, bro? He was like, hey, do not change your expression, but the Heat about to draft you at 5. And my body just went numb. I was like,
I can't even imagine what you're feeling in that moment.
No, man. It was crazy. It was crazy, dude. I don't know, man. Yeah, like you said, I don't even know what I was feeling that moment. I just know I was numb. It was like, everybody out here, we all, especially as you become an adult, and even some people do it at a very young age, you start working to something, right? You start working at something and you try to work at a goal. And it's every day to try to be great at something. And so for me, I started at 9 years old. I started working towards a goal to try to be an NBA player, right? At 9 years old, I was like, okay, that's what I want to do. And so I had to start that journey to start working to that goal every day from 9 years old. And then now I'm 21 years old and my agent just whispers in my ear, 12 years, after I picked up, it was a real surreal moment still to this day. So it's crazy, bro.
Wow. So who was the first Heat player on the team at the time to reach out and say, welcome to Miami? Do you remember? It's probably hard to remember, but
yeah, it was. I think whoever I seen at the arena, right? Whoever, once I got to the arena, whoever I seen, but easily probably Karan Butler. Yeah, it was Karan because at that time, CB and I we played against each other in AAU. CB was Karan Butler was one of the top players in our class and everything. Even though he's about 5 years older than all of us, he's the top player in our class. But he was a little older than me. But him, man, he got drafted the year before to the Heat, and he got drafted 10th, and I think he finished top 3 in Rookie of the Year before I came in, and so he was the first player that I talked to. I think I even talked to him on draft night, if my memory serves me correctly. He was just super excited about me coming in and us teaming up. He's from Milwaukee, Racine. I'm from Chicago, but I went to school in Milwaukee, so we had some ties, and he was excited about it. That was it for me. Ron, he was my guy. He played with. I thought we was going to be the future of the Miami Heat. I had no idea about the business of basketball. What's up, everybody out there? Listen, man, we having a conversation. Guys for popping in, talking about the draft, talking about things that come up. Like I said, we just gonna do this sometime. Legacy page or something that I've been thinking about in the beginning. Oh, Dylan, let me ask you a question. So, what was that moment where you fell in love with my basketball talents, and what was that moment you was like, that's the guy for me?
Well, growing up, I grew up in South Florida, so I was always a Heat fan. But I remember vividly, I don't remember who we were playing, but wait, you can hear me, right? I just want to make sure.
I hear you.
Okay. It was just I think I was 6 or 7 at the time. My favorite.
I remember looking at the camera and everything, doing this whole lip. I don't I did. I don't know what I was doing. But I remember, like, I was getting my swag on at that time, man.
Yeah. That was
So let me go back and talk a little bit more about. We're gonna jump around, but I'm gonna go back and talk a little bit more about the draft. Because 18 years ago yesterday, and actually today is 26 years ago today that the '96 draft class got drafted. That's to me, that's the best draft class of all time. But that's me. Don't really know. But I remember, man. I remember when I first got to Chicago, and we all, like, they put all the rookies together in Chicago. Everybody go through all these tests. Everybody go through. It's different now how you do it, but you kind of work out for teams. They all Chicago. The doctors got to get a chance to test you. I had knee surgery in college, so I was doing a lot of MRIs because a lot of teams was concerned about my knee, right? So I didn't know, but that was a big question mark about me coming out of the draft was how long would I hold up because my meniscus was taken out, and so a lot of teams didn't think I have a long career because of it, and I didn't know that, but I wound up finding that out later. But I remember being in one of the rooms, and I remember waiting for and I've told this story before, but I remember waiting for like hours. I felt like hours anyway. And when it finally got to the point where I was about to go get my test, they was like, "Hold on." Then this young kid came in, loud as hell, named LeBron James. I never met him before. I knew him from TV. I knew him from ESPN, but I heard about him, but I didn't know him. And he came in the room with all the energy, man, and just was like, "Yo, what's up?" Just really introduced himself. We started talking. It was just me and him in the room, and when nobody else in there. And he was the one that was about to jump me and go get his MRI first because he was the top pick in that draft. So we got a chance to sit back in that room, laugh, joke, talk, get to know each other a little bit. And, that was the moment that started Brian and our relationship. Just two guys got stuck in a room, and he came and jumped me, and I was sitting there for about an hour or two waiting to go. But, that jump-started our relationship. And you take that to when we get to the draft, me, him, and Melo and him already had a great relationship. So you take that and you put all of us together once we get down to New York for the draft, where it's just like, Larry, Curly, and Mo. We just together all the time, anytime we can, right? So we just built that bond, very early, man.
And Dwayne, I remember seeing stories and hearing about how, at the time, all the attention was towards Melo, LeBron. Like, you didn't get any attention. People didn't even know how to spell your name right at the time. Like, talk to everyone a little bit about that. Like, how it motivated you to be a better player.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think it's more so than, when you want to be great at something, you want to be the best at it. You want people to recognize, your greatness. And I didn't feel people was recognizing what at a young age. Right. And I knew it was because we weren't winning either. And I wasn't a big name. I've never been a big name, so it wasn't about that. It was just more so I wanted to be respected for what I brought to the basketball.
Of course.
Spell my name wrong. I've been getting people say, "Can you spell your name?" since I was in kindergarten. And I just remember that All-Star weekend. I went down there and I thought I made a little waves in the NBA, but I went down there and really nobody was checking for me at all. Like, none of the reporters. I had one interview, locker room was like, "Hey, can you spell your name?" Like, "I'm Dwayne Wade, DWY." And it was just a different, Bron had a whole circus of media. Melo had a whole circus of media. And it's not that I wanted the media. I just was like, I need to get on those guys' level, because I'm not there yet, obviously. And made me just go in the gym and work harder and harder, man, to try to become on the level of guys that I was drafted with before I could even get to the level of Kobe Bryant and all those other guys. I had to get to that top level with those two, and I eventually did.
And you took a huge jump from your rookie year to your sophomore year, too. You averaged 16 in your rookie year.
Yeah,
sophomore
man.
year, you averaged 24.
Nobody talk about that. You want to talk about most improved player. I went from 16 points to 24 points a game and going to improve or like nothing. But a lot of it was because Shaq came, man. When Shaq came, one, I had to elevate my game. My team, like everybody had to elevate themselves. You know, UD elevated himself. And, you know, we had to get it done because we knew when Big Fella came down, it was like, hey, man, we out here to win championships only at this point in his life. So we got.
In my opinion, if he didn't get hurt in 2005, I think we're going to the finals that year. But that's just my opinion.
We thought the same thing, Bill. We thought the same thing.
But it all worked out. It all worked out.
Yo, before I forget and we get cut off, man, let me shout out Miami-Wade County for the nod for Dwayne Wade Boulevard. You know, I'm not a person who really like jump up and down for a lot of individual things. But I will say on this live that that's the one thing I wanted out of my, like, when it was over. You know, I was like, yo, one day I wanna, you know, I drove in every day for, you know, 14 and a half years that I played. And I made that same left, or I went straight on that same street, or I made a right on Biscayne Boulevard to go into the arena. And I was like, one day I would love to have my name on this street. And to be able to have my name on that street, that's going to be like a very emotional day for me. So shout out to everybody who made that possible. Shout out to everybody who, you know, who's going to post about it, talk about it, and all the things, man. I'm just like, that's the one thing that I'm like.
It's incredible. It's crazy.
Proud, yeah. So appreciate that, everybody.
And I hope one day to see a statue outside of the FTX arena now, it's called. But I hope to see a D-Wade statue soon.
We don't know. You know, we will see. Wait, I got a question for everybody out there. Let me see a raise a hand out there. Who watching the Cube? I know the NBA playoffs is on, and it's hard for everybody to kind of watch the Cube and the playoffs because it's been, you know, we got some game show fans out in the world, and they've been checking us out. So show of hands, who out there is checking out the Cube? And if I've been doing terrible as a host, put a thumbs down. If I've been doing,
nah, I love the Cube. I think you've been doing a great job so far. All the reactions are hilarious. The slow-mos that you do. It all goes well with the show. So let's see. Show of hands in the comments. A lot of people put a thumbs up.
Day 22. Luke Skywalker 8, talk to me nice.
Well saying, man.
Yo, Dylan, look at a few of the fans. Look at a few who's in here. Look at a few of the questions they asked, man, and pick one and ask me. Let's see. Pick. All
right, let me see.
This is the content we give on Wade Legacy, baby.
There's a lot of good ones here.
I text Dylan and said, let's go live on this Sunday morning, man. This is what we do.
There's a lot of good questions. I'm just gonna choose. I'll choose this one. Who do you think will get to the finals?
Who I think
they're asking you
to the finals?
Yeah. Who? you got?
Well, I mean, obviously it's been very tough, right? So I've probably been wrong nine times, but I think when I was on TNT, I started talking about my belief in the Bucks, right? Brooklyn was the team that we all matchups though. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I one thing I do know is I didn't want to see. I wanted to play Phoenix, but I was hoping I didn't have to root against CP. It was either you had to lose or Phoenix had to lose, right? But I'm happy that I get to just root for him as a fan, and he deserves it. I think more than him and Melo for me. I mean, as any player in the league that's still in the league, they deserve to have an opportunity to play in the finals and see if they can get one, before their career is over.
Exactly. Even me, I was rooting obviously for the Jazz too, but now I want to see CP3 win a ring. He deserves it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be it. Let me choose one more question. All right. How has your experience been as an owner of the Jazz? Like, talk to everyone about this year. How has it been? Any cool stories you have? Like, everyone saw you coaching Donovan from the sideline. I think that's super cool. I mean, for a young player to have someone like you on the sideline just coaching them mid-game, like, no one has that. No one else has that. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's only so much I can say about my role, but when it comes to being connected to the game, I played basketball pretty much my whole life, right? And so when you retire, you're not connected anymore. You're not in the locker room anymore. You're not a part of the conversations anymore. You're not connected. And so for me, being in the playoffs and being on the sideline, and and having the love for Donovan that I have, as my little brother, and as a fan of his, being able to be there and be able to give him any nugget that will make him greater, I was thankful to do it, and I take no credit for anything he accomplished or will accomplish because, he's doing it. He's the one out there doing it. So just trying to be a big brother and trying to pass the knowledge down. I think if I wasn't a part owner of the Jazz and I was at the game, I would have did the same thing because that, you want to pass knowledge down if you see something. Right. Especially if the player is asking for it or they want it, right? And so, Don came over, he wanted to talk about stuff, and sometimes it wasn't really about much. It was just to take a breather and just be like, yo, what's up? Like, yo, what's up? And go back out there. You know what I mean? Not always, and it's never nothing to go against like a game plan of what Coach Quinn or, those coaching staff put together. It's always about what I see on the floor that I can help him see certain gaps and certain things. And, just all these little, intricate details of the game that a lot of people don't really know about. So for me, man, just to make a long story short, you play the game of basketball as a player, and I had an amazing career. And they asked me, what else would you want to do in the game of basketball? I would say, man, I would love to be an owner one. I would love to be a part of ownership one day. And I got that opportunity to do it with the Jazz. And it's not saying that I couldn't get the opportunity to do it anywhere else. Obviously, I could have had the opportunity elsewhere. I just felt, where I am in life right now, and what my business mind and where I'm trying to go. I'm excited about this opportunity that I have in front of me. So it's cool, man. But I got a lot of work to do. I got a lot to learn. We got a lot to learn, and so I'm going to enjoy the process.
As you should. I'm excited too.
Yeah, bro.
So.
I know we got fans all in here, from all around the world. I see from different places, but all my Miami fans, I love you guys, man. I always talk about, like, no matter where I go, where UD ain't going nowhere, but no matter where I go, like, I always take everything I learned in Miami with me. You know what I'm saying? Like the what I learned in the organization, what I learned about winning, I learned about all these things learned in Miami, I take it with me. So, you know, sometimes when you, as a player, and once you leave the game and you go do other things that's not with the organization, it becomes sensitive on both sides. For all of our fans, man, don't be that way. You know what I mean? Like, we're always going to be connected. I'm always going to support and love the Heat. And we always going to have what we have. Like, we got history. We've made history together. You know, we've done some amazing things that can never be taken away. And Miami will always be a home for
Wade County.
It will always be Wade County. You know, someone gonna come along and have a cooler name one day, but it will always be. Maybe you already know how that. You know, already know how we move. But you know, I just want, like, really, for me, for all the fans out there, like, just understand, like, there's no love lost between Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat. You know, this is just my next phase of my life. But when it comes to, like, what we've created and what we've built, that's forever, man. That's why we on this page called Wade Legacy, because we started this together, and it's all going to be a part of it. You know? So, you know, I say that to say, like, Dylan